Hi, welcome along everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to bend a copper tube like this. Get a nice little set in it. That's just one of the bends we're going to do. Now before you do that, you're going to need one of these. This is a pipe bender. Now you can get a spring, put it inside and bend, but very unreliable, often creases the copper tube. So if you're in for a lot of plumbing, you do a fair little bit, you will need one of these. So first of all, show you how to do the humble set like this, where you want to come down the wall and get round something. So I'll show you how to do this one first. So we have our former and our bender, and we put our pipe in the bender like so. You might have it marked out where you want the set when you're doing it, but for this instance obviously I'm just showing you a set, but you may have your set marked out. Depending on the angle of the set you want, this first bend is very important. It kind of shows you how much set you're going to be getting it there. You know, we don't want too much set. I don't like too much bend in mine, but obviously you can make them as sharp a set as you like. For this one, I'm just going to show you this one, how to set this one. Pull your pipe out. Okay, now we're going to do the set. I always do it this way because you can get the set still as long as you want and as short as you want. So invariably always put the bent part, the short part, up that end. Okay, put it in your former and slide it in so it bites like so. Now make sure, see what I haven't done there, the clamp is over. Okay, that's it there. So what we have to do now is line that set up so it's straight with the bender. You'll see that, otherwise your offset will end up skewed. So have a good look at it, a little bit down the line and make sure it is straight. Okay, when you're happy it is, then you're ready to do the bend. And here we go, a little bit at a time. Just make sure, keep checking the set is right. Okay. Now that looks to me pretty much right. You can virtually see that that's not far off, is it? You can still adjust some more when they're done. If you want to give them even more bend, more of an angle out, you can. But don't forget, if you give it too much, you can't take it back. You get less. Okay. So I think I'll go with that. Look at that. There's our set. There's the other one I showed you further on, first on. See, they're most about the same. And that is how to set a piece of copper tube. Now what about those horrible angle sets that have got to go over and back round? Well, let's have a look at those, shall we? So what we're saying here, we have a piece of pipe going along the wall, and we've got a piece of pipe coming down the wall. We want this to go round it and back to the wall, so it carries on like so. But obviously it's got to be bent out and around and back down the wall. That's a tricky one, but I'll show you how to do that one. Okay, so first off, pipe in the bender, former over, clamp over I should say, former in. Now you'll have it marked probably where you want that to bend, your first bend. Obviously I'm just doing you a show sort of thing. So do a bend, the amount of angle that you want it to go round, whatever the obstacle is. Okay, you'll have had that worked out. But if you're not sure, just do a slow one. You don't have to go too mad. And then put it back in. And as I showed you before, put it back in. I like it in a short way. Let's get that the right way out. And a second bend. Once again, line it up nice and straight. Okay, we don't have a crooked bend. Nice and straight in there. Look at it dead on so you can see that it's straight. Work out how much of a bend over you want. Generally, if it's just for pipe, it's not too much. You can always give it a little bit more. And now on this one, we bend it. We get it to match our bend first, and see it. And you can see how much that's going to go over. Now we're going to carry on past that setting and go round. Now you can see that it's going round. Okay, and then take it out. So it's kind of like overbent. It's kind of like so. See that? You can see how that's got to come down the wall and then kick out. So I can see, looking at that, judging by that, you probably just want to touch more on that first bend, or second bend I should say. So let's just put it in, give it a little bit more. You can see now it's looking like that. Okay, so now you've got to work out that where the bend's going to be. This is where you get your pencil and make a mark. So here we are. Now you can see there's the roughly the dent of the bend. Look, you can see it there. And you can see basically that it needs to come back straight about there. You can do it more accurately, just measure it across and measure it down and you'll get it, but I just roughly kind of do it. A pencil line around there, and we know where we want to set the next bend. Next part, with our pipe, put it in, use our pencil line. Not sure if you can see it on there, today's bright sun, but, hopefully you can, and we'll get it in ready. Line it up once again, make sure it's straight, it must be straight in that bender. Okay, you've got to get that about right, then we're ready to go. Down we go. Once again, you keep looking at it, keep looking at that angle to make sure it's right. There's a tad more, but look at it. That's looking more and more right to me now. Have a look at that. That's not too bad, is it? And it's just, a lot of it is, I'm afraid, is keep practicing. It does have marks on it for exactly 90 degrees. So when it's reached that point, you know you have reached 90 degrees on the bend. That's the 3/4 pipe bender. That's the 15mm one. We're going to bend 15mm today, so it goes in this slot here. Okay, so how do you do it? Well, let's say this is your bit of pipe, and we've got a mark on here where the pipe was bought. We'll say that's our bending mark, where you want the bend to be. Okay, so what do you do? Okay, it's a little bit tricky. They're I've done them for years, but yeah, it's easier for me. But it's one of those tricky things. If that was the point you wanted to bend it at, slip it in your machine and aim. Put that piece over and aim your piece you want to bend in line with that. So then that part of the bender and that white line is your mark for your bend. That is a correct position. Okay, now you can't bend it yet because I haven't got the former. This thing is called the former, and this stops the pipe from creasing. So you put that in there. It's a bit awkward. I use my knee to hold a bit of pipe. Okay, so we make sure it's dead on the spot again. Okay, which is like that. You can see it out a little bit more. There it is. Okay, and we slip your former in there as such. Now once it's there, take up the tension. Now you can feel it's all locked in with your machine now, and now it's ready to bend. So we're going to go with the bend now, and just push it round gently, using that on the floor. Now you can hold the whole machine up if you want, like that, if you want to do it like that, and bend. Now you know it's right when you've reached that line. So when that is in the middle, and you can see the pipe as well anyway, when that is square on that, that is 90 degrees. So how can we tell? We'll take the bender out, take the former out, take the pipe out, and there we have a perfect 90-degree bend. As you can see, it's smack dab on, and that no ripples. It flattens it a touch on the corners, but not much. That's just quite normal for a bender, and that's a 90-degree bend. We do. Going to show you now how to bend a piece of copper tube. See, you don't want to use an elbow, and it does restrict the flow, and sometimes they do look a lot better anyway, and saves you money. How to do it cheaply? One of these, a bendy cheapy old spring, Costs you about £1 in a DIY shops. It's a cheap way to do it. If you haven't got access to a bending machine, which is the proper way, obviously they're £30–40 a go. If you just want to do a small bit of plumbing, get one of these old bending springs. I mean, it looks rubbish, but it do the job. I'm going to show you the right way and the wrong way to bend on your, on your knee with a bit of copper tube and a spring. So that's what I'm going to show you the wrong way. Okay. When you get your bit of copper tube, if you've got it been cut by a tube cutter, that spring will not fit down there. That's as far as it's going to go. You're going to need to reamer that out. So if you've cut your tube, okay, with a tube cutter, you're going to need to do one or two things. Reamer that out, or saw it again like I've done this end with a hacksaw. Once you've done it with a hacksaw, the spring will fit down the tube. Okay, make sure it's down far enough. And a little piece like this, it should just poke out the end down the bottom there. See, it's just poked out the bottom. Pull it back a bit. Now I'm going to show you the wrong way to bend this. First of all, if you do it like this, this is probably going to be an absolute killer of a job. On your knee, a lot of people just get it like this and go like this. Now quite often that ends with ripples right through the bend. Now as it happens on this occasion it hasn't, but normally that will end up rippled. To do it like that is usually a disaster. But pull it round. Now if you lay it on the floor and just bend it back a little piece like that, just because I've showed you, it's decided to bend it quite properly, and that would be square. You can see that's fairly square there now. Back a bit on it, and then the spring will pop out easily and it will come out. If you have it bend, normally this is an old bit of tube, that's why it's probably a little bit thicker and it hasn't rippled, but normally you get ripples around the edge. I'll bend this one. This is the way I would normally bend a piece of copper tube. I'll put it in and bend it a lot more slowly, a little bit at a time, like this. Slowly, and a bit more curve on the bend. Bend it a bit slowly and you shouldn't end up with many more ripples. And once again, get it square, line it up with something, a set square, anything. I can line it up with this floor. Now interestingly, that one has got a little ripple on it. Can you see it there? And that, usually it doesn't if you do it nice and slowly, so you can never tell sometimes. Okay, once it's bent, if you try to pull that spring out, it can be a bit tight because it's grabbing on the bend. So make sure you just go over a little bit and then slacken it off. Once you slacken it back like that, the spring will pop out easily, like that. There you have your bend. As I say, unusual. I was going to show that as as the right way to do it, but as it happened, I just swung it straight round on my knee and got it better on that piece. But normally, when you try and do it like that, it will ripple to devil and leave you a load of little horrible marks on it. But as it happened this time, just to show you, things never work to fall under when you're on a camera. Anyway, there you are. There's how to bend a piece of copper tube. Save yourself a bit of money. Keep watching. I've got loads of tips out there. Okay, that's about it then. All my stuff, you know where to go. Usual place. Derek and 33. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.